Welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise with Ronald Assas and myself, Mohammed Abdulrahim, here at the Sea Scout Club in Giza. And we're talking now about specifically about the Cairo International Film Festival in its 41st edition. A real rich festival, a historic festival that, by the way, saw the late Yusuf Sharif Rizallah as a technical director for this festival for some 40 years or something, Rana. And of course, the famous cinema critic, Mr. Yusuf Sharif Rizallah, was our boss here at Nile TV International for years and years and really taught us a lot. So a great tribute to this man. And this edition is honoring the name of Yusuf Sharif Rizallah, and is also presenting a special prize, Rana, and the name of the audience, yes, for his memory. And I have also to mention the late, great Izzat Abu Auf, who was the president of this film festival and who passed away recently. So we pay tribute to this great artist as well. With us here is now Mr. Waheed Mekhmar, and he is a fine artist and film director. Thank you very much, Mr. Mekhmar. It's always a pleasure to have you with us on Nile TV International.
Thank you for having me.
It's time to have you whenever the Cairo International Film Festival is on.
It's a pleasure to have you, Mr. Waheed. Mr. Waheed, the Cairo International Film Festival, CIFF, is an annual international film festival organized by the Ministry of Culture in Egypt and presided over by Egyptian producer, of course, Mohammed Hifzi, which is a person that made great success in the second session as the head of the Egyptian Cairo International Film Festival. Of course, the Egyptian Cairo, the Cairo International Film Festival, in its 40th edition, is taking place now. It ends tomorrow. Your motto, sir, on this session?
It's a long journey for this very important festival. It's more than 40 years. Started by Kamal al-Malakh, like you said, a little history about the history of this festival. It's the most important festival supposed to be in Middle East, and the oldest too. Going with so many periods, so many times of success, so many times of failing sometimes. After Kamal Malakh, Sa'd-Din Wahba, where is the golden age for this festival, whereas we received so many great filmmakers like Sophia Loren, Gina Lulu Bergda, Elizabeth Taylor. By this time we were a student in cinema school, and also there were very good participation between the society and the festival, which is the most important thing about festivals, is to mix and to harmonize with society, to raise the awareness, to show our civilization, which we doesn't have this now. In the last 10 years, the festival in an enclosed island in Opera. So this is something very sad. And also the young generation, the new filmmakers are isolated from. By the time of Sa'd-Din Wahba, we were participating, we were organizing, we were mixing with movie stars, we meeting them, we travel with them, we visiting the most historical places, and this is the most important thing about festival, which makes me very sad about it.
Mohammed, I need to clarify that this is the 41st session of the Cairo International Film Festival.
Right.
And in the, Mr. Mohammed Hifzi presides, of course, the festival, and he presided the 40th session as well.
Right.
Because I got mixed up at the beginning.
I think you said it correctly. I think you said it correctly. You just
afraid
repeated what you said. You were right. You said it right from the beginning. That's what I think. Yeah.
So
anyway,
go on, Mohammed.
yes, thank you, Rana. So, how is this year's edition different as far as you are concerned, Mr. Mekhima?
This I talk about this negative aspect about it, but there is some positive aspects that the festival is receiving more films, but quantity, not the quality. And also, the organization, they organized right now after Yusuf Sharif Rizallah, so many youth people, have the youth, the new generation. This is good for, but most of them are journalists, not filmmakers, not. And also, we can see the shadows of other festivals like El Gona and other festivals on the Cairo Festival. We would like to have this international festival having its own character, reflecting the power of Egypt as a soft power, and also you cannot have a very successful festival without good production, without good films. Now we have about 7 films. We having Blue Elephant. We're having El Mamar by Sharif Arafa, Passage,
The passage.
The Passage, and Aulad Rez. Very few films participating in this festival. And
But there is a big international participation, right?
there is. But like I said, it's more than 130 countries or 130 films. But we should also put our emphasis on quality. The quality makes quality of films and participating movie stars. Where is the movie stars? Even Egyptian movie stars are absent. I only saw Mahmoud Hamida.
No, I saw Yusra. I saw
Okay, this
Mr.
is in the
Sharif
opening.
Arafa, who
This is
was
in the opening. Sharif is my colleague, and I have chance to
congratulate
congratulate
him
him to be honored by
because he was awarded,
yeah,
yeah, a
and for
prize.
his journey. But also, we forgetting that the start of Sharif Arafa was Maher Awad. Maher Awad, one of the biggest writers, and nobody knows or hints him.
Remember.
Yeah,
But
remember.
Sharif Arafa was awarded because he is one of the, of course, renowned directors here in Egypt.
Not only for one film, for
Of course, for
his,
many films, it's
for so
for
many,
his entire
and
journey.
and the start and the most important thing. Sharif Arafa started with Maher Awad for films. Dwarves Are Coming, Sama Hos, Keep Silent, or and Yam Halabiya. 4 films by الدرجة الثالثة أحمد زكي سعاد حسني. 4 films Sharif started with Maher Awad, and now and also Maher made so many films with they are my colleague. We studied the same class with Saeed Hamid, and everybody forgetting him. I don't know why. Sharif make a big success because of Passage of Al Mamar. This is great, and we are honored to have Sharif as a colleague, as a great film director, but also Maher Awad is a great writer.
But I recall in Mr. Sharif Arafa's speech when he was on the podium, he really thanked every single person that backed him up throughout his journey. Mr. Adil Imam was one of those. He praised and he thanked many directors, many assistant directors, many actors, many actresses. His speech was amazing.
And I think my mission also to mention Maher Awad is one of the great people who made a great success in Sharif Arafa's journey.
It's really great of you, Mr. Mekhmar, to mention those who have been forgotten, and this is a nice touch. It's been only a few years since we lost here in Egypt many great artists. And whenever there's a festival, whenever there's talk about movies, I just remember Noor al-Sharif. Just remember Mahmoud Abdel Aziz. We lost them very recently.
Exactly.
Ahmed Zaki and even his son, now Haytham, the late Haytham Ahmed Zaki. Condolences, of course. Since the days of Noor al-Sharif, Mahmoud Abdel Aziz, and these great actors, and Ahmed Zaki, of course, what have we, I mean, what do we need to do to return to this, great art, because in the view of many, Rana, this was the last of the last of not the Mohicans, but the last of the great artists.
That's true. That's true.
So we agree with that.
But yes, I agree. Totally, I agree. But also, we have to 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 say the country, the Ministry of Culture, even for TV too. We have to have a good production. We have to have, as long as we realize, and Mr. President take care and pay a lot of attention, at least for the film called Al Mamar, that that should make the people who are responsible for cinema, مركز القومي, to start to make Egyptian production with the government, to go back to this golden age of cinema, not only to leave it to producers who just would like to have money or to make a success. This is okay, we accept this, but also the country have to work. Now I know there is a new TV serial by Amir Carrara talking about our battle against the
Yeah,
terrorism.
Amir Carrara has done a great job.
Yeah,
He's been
and this is
in
good,
Collapsion
but
and
but
others.
but
Yeah, he's done great.
one or two or three films or three TV movies,
It's a
three,
rarity now that
yeah,
we find something that we can say, oh, we have something nice.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
so Amir
exactly.
Kara was one of
But
the
we
few
need a
ones who did
wave.
something, yeah,
We
that
need a
was,
wave.
yeah.
One thing also is very good is they will going to honor great director of photography Vittorio Tosoro. He's when he won three Oscars. And he worked with Woody Allen, Francis Ford Coppola, Apocalypse Now. One of the great director of photography. He born in Rome, 1940, and now he's in Cairo. And this is, and also by the way, he was invited by a production company. So we have to take care of our festival, and we know it's the spirit of Egypt. It's our word to the world to show what we have, not only in Azulate Island in opera, but the films before was in streets. People can go and see, and also participating by students of academy to get experience, to meet movie stars, and also to invite movie stars, not only getting tickets for the Ministry of Travel or Ministry of Antiquities, or they should participate more, not only Ministry of Culture. It's something which we need as international event to show people who we are.
Okay, Mr. Waheed, first of all, I'd like to ask you the difference between the Gona Film Festival and the Cairo International Film Festival from your own perspective. And how do you see both festivals, the difference between them?
El Gona is a good festival, and it's private sector, of course, a private sector who handling it. And I guess the main and goal for this is only to show where is what's happening in Gona, not selecting very good and important films, full of fashion show. This is I don't refuse
Maybe
this.
enhancing tourism is one of the aims of this
Yeah,
festival.
it's business more than being culture or showing how Egypt is, and that's why I felt of in Egyptian in Cairo festival. It's a shade of Gona. Not only if okay, I accept it to for actor and actress to be in a good dressing in custom. This is great and also very civilized. But the quality of the films, the movie stars, the activities around,
Yeah,
not only one
it's
workshop.
it's good. It's good, of course, to promote tourism via such
Of
festivals.
course,
It's
of
good to
course.
do business, but Mr. Mekhmar, as a pure artist, a double artist, he wants art for art. So, sir, you're a fine artist as well. So, how do you see the connection between fine art and cinema? And you directed, of course, also cinema movies before. So, Do you see how do you see the connection between the two?
The connection is it's one thing. It's this two things are you see it through a frame, you see it through audience. The only difference between cinema and fine arts is cinema have more facilities like movements, like sound, like actor and actress, but fine arts is fixed frames and you make it.
Which is more difficult?
Of course, fine arts. And cinema also have difficulties because you would like to send your message through so many people. So you have to communicate with the director of photography, with the production, with the actor and actress, and but this is a headache, and this is another headache. But the responsibility more than in fine arts.
Mr. Waheed, a short break and we'll be with you again. Dear viewers, stay with us, a short break and we'll be back again with Mr. Waheed Mekhmar.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl. You see, man made the cars to take us off of the road. Man made the trains to carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to take us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water, like Noah made the ark. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl.
في كلام بيأثر فيا وبيمنعني ويكسرني، تصعب الدنيا عليا، يمكن الناس هتقدرني. مين دي اللي بيتقال لها مش نافعة بلاش مش عارف ايه؟ طب ده انا بلمح لتحدي ما بس واجري عليه، والصعب تهديني العقدة دي عندي ده انا افتح لك موضوع وبكيف انا برضو اسلك في البيت. انا سندريلا وبشوف انا اسد الغابة، بدلة وفستان وجونيلا غزلان وديابة، اشارتنا كلها اخضر وكروت الحمرا في جيبي، هتقول ايه هعمل اكتر وانيس ولبستي وعيش.
Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV, dear viewers, and now we are still continuing our discussion with Mr. Waheed Mekhmar, and we're discussing, of course, the Cairo International Festival in its 41st session. Mr. Waheed, we're still with the Cairo International Festival, and of course, it's worth to mention that Mohammed Hifzi, the president of the Cairo International Festival, said hosting the first edition of the Arab Critiques Award for European films at this year's Cairo International Film Festival is very special. How do you see this, sir?
Like we said before, it's good because so many sectors in this festival. This Arab films, Egyptian panorama, Mexican films, and also the week of critique. And this is handling by Osama Abdel Fattah. This is very good activities, but I have to say also, like one of the films where I found people left it before, because left it in middle of the film because the sound wasn't good. So we have for Hevzi, I'm whispering in his ear, try to choose a quality also, not only a quantity. We have to choose a quality. This is what will going to make our festival taking its position again, because there is a competition, a big competition in the Middle East, in North Africa, starting from Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, and also in the Gulf. And this is a newborn, except Carthage Festival. All of these festivals are very young, but still they can invite good films, good quality, and also movie stars. This is very important, and this is what's make the classification of the festival in a high position, as it used to be the biggest one in the Middle East. So,
Sir, you only directed a couple of movies, but you
Two.
started at a time with some great directors, like the late Atif Al-Tayyib, one of the
course.
best directors of all time.
of course.
Why didn't you continue? I know it's the question that must be asked you every day.
Yeah, we also asking ourselves. But first of all, I should say there is a big production now. But what's
And
the,
do you intend to go back? I mean, is it
what's
in
the
your
mind
plans?
behind the production? That's why I was saying early in our meeting, it's very important to have a very creative producer. It's not only we're using a very advanced cameras like you see in Sharif Arafa's film, but now in Sharif Arafa, there is a mind behind, there is a goodwill to produce a good film. So this is not exist with people who would like to have action films, films which is not carrying out the
Commercial.
very commercial films, and you know what I mean. But we have to have a mind of producer behind. Like you imagine, Nasser Salahuddin was private sector, was Asia Dagher produced this film. We have to have,
So if you find the right thing, you can come back?
of course, very easy. The goodwill of the country, Ministry of Culture and TV, and some artists who would like to make a good art, and also a good scripts. We suffer from, we don't have good writers like we used to have before. Now they're making this workshop which imitate some TV and copying them, and also a good critique who shows the good and bad. So we have the quality, we have very good directors, we see Sharif Arafa, Marwan Hamid, Tariq Al-Aryan, hundreds of them. I forget, afraid I forget some good names. And also we have great artist director like still now no job, like Ali Badr Khan, Samir Saif. All of these people are sitting home.
So they sat home. They were forced to sit home. I'm sorry, Rana.
No problem.
So it's not like it's not their own decision. It's not like they decided to enter into seclusion. Samir Saif is a big name.
Exactly.
And Ali
exactly.
Badr Khan. And
These people
others,
having
yeah.
good scripts for sure, and they think, because artists never stop. I tell you a little story.
Please.
Francis Ford Coppola and Spielberg and Lucas, they thought about Akira Kurosawa, a great Japanese director. They thought about him and they sent him open check to make his new film. So he make Kagemosha or Shadow of Warrior. So these people are thinking, this great director who's sitting home now in Japan, he should have a good idea. So made this great icon he made. So we have to think about all of these artists who are sitting home or not sitting home or teaching. Ali made his own
Mr. Ali
academy.
Abdel Khali also
Ali Abdel
is sitting and not
of
not
course,
working.
of course, of course.
Mr. Waheed Mekhmar, what do you like to teach younger generations of artists?
I teach him, first of all, to see the treasure of our heritage, our history, because starting from ancient Egyptian, all kinds of art came, architect, design, drawing, even animation. You can see in Tal Al Amarna these early sketches for animation. In Tal Al Amarna, Egyptian people made this movement of athletics people who making sports. So we have a treasure and we never look at it. On other hand, we're seeing great artists like painters like Dali and Picasso, and also in international cinemas. Our history full of treasure of stories, love stories, political stories. So we have to dig and see.
Yes, sir. What do you want? What do you foresee for the youths of today to be like the legendaries that we see in the world of art or film or directing?
I can tell you we have a very good artist. 2 years now, I'm in a jury of Ibda', which is a competition for youth, Ministry of Youth doing it.
Innovation, yes.
Yeah, and tonight we were going to celebrate this and give them their prizes in Cairo University. This is I can tell we have a very good and talented artists in theater, cinema, fine arts, and not only in Cairo.
So what's the problem then?
The problem is you don't have a chance. You don't give a chance, and that's why I thank Ministry of Youth for this. So many activities for university and for Marakiz al-Shabab, which youth centers like small clubs in villages, and 2 years now we have treasure of these very talented people. You will see them, and I recommend in our result to make workshops for them. So we taking them to workshop to shoot in their towns, in their villages, and so this is inshallah will be very good by working so much and continuing.
Mohammed, maybe one of the disadvantages is that there is no enough funding for such projects or such productions. So this is what hinders these youths from making names or being around everywhere.
Exactly, because also in cinema specifically, you say cinema is industry and art and merchant. It's you
Exactly.
selling.
It's lack of funds.
Yeah, it's three things coming of it. One of it is the art. So we need money. We don't need so much money because right now we can make a good movie by mobile. So I in my workshops, I tell this new generation, we need to know how to see, how to think. Tools is not everything. Okay, tools is very important. But early, you can use a mobile, you can use a very tiny camera, small cameras. So that's why also I'm shooting with very small camera, just to show them with a simple camera, you can do whatever you want and express about what you think about and to
Social media plays a very important role. Soft power
exactly
plays very important role.
Exactly.
Digital media in general. So a person that couldn't have this chance before today, it's easier through YouTube and of course social media.
exactly. You can see Right now, everyone can be a director, everyone can be a TV station saying whatever he wants through his mobile, through his small camera, through his laptop.
So,
So,
so I expect the answer, Mr. Mekhmar, because Rana, I had asked Ghadir Munib, our Hollywood Egyptian American Hollywood star, in our first segment about it, and she said this is the case in Hollywood. So I expect it to be also the case here in our cinema, but Mr. Mekhmar, of course, has to confirm. So, because and what made me ask the question is when Mr. Mekhmar said we have so many young talent, so many. You spotted them. You said in
sure,
theater
sure.
and potentially in cinema, in fine art, and so on. Is it about relationships? Is it about connections? Because she said in Hollywood, what happens is those who really don't have the talent but have the right connections appear and take up the space, the potential space of those who really have talent but don't have connection, so they might never get the chance. Is that the case here? And if it is, how do we solve it?
I don't.
Or is this life simply?
Um,
I mean,
Mohammed,
the unfair life.
Mr. Waheed, I want to know your answer, of course, to Mohammed's question, but from my own perspective, if it's about relations, when it comes to presenting our job, Mohammed, as presenters and announcers, it's relationship, then it's your talent.
Of course.
Or you'll never be
Of
there.
course.
And same when it comes to acting.
That's true.
It's
But I'm talking about the
relationship
people
then.
who never get the chance.
Okay, never get the chance. Then
Because
Mohammed,
I
Mr. Waheed.
detect that there are a lot of them. And even Ghadir said that
Because our
it's-
job is
yeah.
based on talent,
Yeah,
whether
sure,
it comes
sure.
to presenting.
You will never continue unless
announcing-
you're good
exactly,
enough,
yes,
of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you think,
Mr.
Mr. Waheed?
It's like catch 22. I can tell you. Anyways, the artists have a will inside. A real artist have this, having a great determination, and he would show. I believe in this. He would show his talent, whatever, especially the tools now is
What
very.
an answer. Wow, that's beautiful
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, yeah.
It's a wonderful answer, and it
If you
makes
get a
statement.
chance, your father is a producer, or this, you can make a success, but not making you an artist. And to Ahmed Zaki, Abdul Halim Hafiz, all of these people,
Suad Hosni.
Suat, all of these people, okay, they have some supports, some people believed in it, in them, but the talent is most important thing, and also working hard. Talent is 30%, working is 70%. If you work, I would say, for instance,
So you will get the chance if you because you have the will.
you have the will.
So you will even
and
get
you're
even a
working
quarter
hard.
of a chance, and
Yeah.
you will capture it.
I would say something.
That's
maybe
a very
something-
optimistic view
Ye-
as well.
Yes, this
Yes,
is the
Mohammed,
fact.
if you have a will, you always have a way.
Like we say, Amr Diab is not the most talented person in his generation and generation before, but with his determination, with his working hard on himself, choosing good songs, choosing good clips, this is a model
He
for
occupied
success.
the window of
Yes,
or the
of
box
course.
office.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr.
that-
Waheed, final words before we wrap up today's episode. Of course, Mr. Yusuf Sharif Rizallah, he was the boss of Nile TV International. This year's Cairo International Film Festival is rewarding Yusuf Sharif Rizallah, and the session is in the name of Yusuf Sharif Rizallah. What do you have to tell us about this great man that we met, that taught us a lot, that we owe him where we are today as me as a presenter, Mohammed as a presenter,
For sure.
presenting such a talk show today. Of course, today Mrs. Taghreed Hussein is our boss, but of course, Mr. Yusuf Sharif Rizallah taught us a lot.
Of course, Yusuf Sharif Rizallah, I will talk a lot about him, but also I should remember Ahmad Rafat Bahgat, one of the most important people, same journey as Yusuf Sharif Rizallah. Earlier, first time, I tell you, when I saw Yusuf Sharif, it was in some hotels. The festival was in some hotels, and this is by Saad-Din Wahba. He was the chief of the festival. I saw Yusuf Sharif Rizallah. All movie stars, there were so many movie stars, international movie stars, coming and interviewing him. And after he finished his interview, I told him, what are you doing? How much you pay for this movie star to come to you and to make your interview? He say, I don't pay anything. Only I make a good management. I talk to their directors or people who are organizing their public relation, and we have a good appointment. I wait for them. I send them the question. Only he was very organized, very careful for his job, and also in a good knowledge what happening all over the world in festivals, and this is very unique.
I think he sometimes, Mr. Mekhmar and Rana, knew about movies more than the actors themselves. Really, I mean that was his passion for cinema,
Yes,
and the way
he was
he
one
studied.
of the most intellectual
Yeah. That's the
film
word.
critiques
Right.
and one of the most intellectual, actually, people in the world of cinema. And
Right.
of course, he passed away last summer. It was a big loss, of course.
Exactly.
To
We lost also Farouk al-Fishawi,
Yeah, we
Mahmoud
forgot
al-Kindi,
to mention this
Ismail
great
Mahmoud.
artist. Yeah.
This we lost. It was a bit Aizat Abu Auf, of course.
Of course,
Yeah.
but the
Condolences
significance of
Farouk
Yusuf
Fishawi
Sharif
as well,
Rizallah
yeah. Aysam.
Muhammad is that he, of course, was one day the leader of Nile TV International. He owes us a lot. So
We owe
Exactly.
him a lot, and for
uh,
40 years, Rana, he was the director,
Exactly.
technical
Yeah,
director
he
of
was
the
backing, and he
festival,
was always
the Cairo
there
International Film
and
Festival.
helping everybody too. When we go, because we were a student by cinema school by this time, and we were asking him. He was telling us, introducing us to film directors and movie stars. He was great and generous and helping everybody. And this generation on leading cinema festival now are his students, starting from Hafzi, Ahmad Shawqi, all of these people.
And Muhammad, it's worth to mention that Nadi Cinema, which was presented by
Yeah, of
Dr.
course.
Dureya Sharafuddin,
Yeah,
the
sure.
script writer was Mr. Yusuf Sharif Rizallah.
Yeah.
And of course, Nadi Cinema was one of the very important programs that we used to watch every week, and we used to know a lot about cinema.
And he also
through
worked
this.
with the famous Sana Mansour as
Exactly.
well. Of course, yeah. Sure.
He's history.
Yeah, it
Muhammad.
is.
He marks
He is.
history, actually. Mr. Waheed Mekhmar, film, a cinema, of course, a cinema director and a film critique. We thank you very much for always joining us in Nile TV in our programs, in different cinema programs, of course. You join me in Zoom In, and you're
course.
joining us here today in Nile Cruise. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us.
It's been my pleasure, sir, to be with you.
Thank you,
you.
Mohammed.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
always
you,
a pleasure
Rana.
to have
It
you with
was,
us, Mr.
very
Waheed.
pleasant to have me in this program around our great Nile.
Thank you, sir. The
Thank
pleasure
you
is
very
really
much.
ours. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear viewers. Stay with us. We'll be back again. We're not yet done.